Hi Biology, this is the Osmosis and Diffusion Lab. This is the last piece of Lesson 2.2, so you should have watched the video and completed the notes for 2.2, done the vocab practice for 2.2, and the cellular transport worksheet. So this should be the last thing you are doing. If you have not completed those other items, do those first, because they will give you the information you need for this lab. All right, this is a lab on osmosis and diffusion. If you remember the differences, osmosis is moving one molecule only, and diffusion is moving everything else. If you don't know what that is, go back and check your vocab. I'm not giving you that easy of one. You'll notice there's some background questions here, and these are what you're going to start with. Anything that has a number, you need to answer. And so they're asking you the difference between osmosis and diffusion, so please put it in your own words. And then in general, molecules tend to move from areas of blank to blank, and we're going to say without the use of energy. So make that real clear. So if you remember our concentration gradients, we have low to high, so going up a hill, or high down to low, think like going down a hill for concentrations. All right, that's just to warm your brain up before you jump into this lab. If you look at part one, you are going to actually watch a video. You are not doing this lab. This lab has been done for you, and there's a video to watch and some really good explanations on what dialysis tubing is used for. So watch the video, start the video, and pause it at 2 minutes. After you've done so, answer the rest of these questions. So it's giving you some background information here that you need to know that iodine is a very small molecule, glucose is medium sized, it's made of 24 atoms, and starch is huge at 95 atoms. So using the information that was given to you in the video, you're going to tell me, is that fake cell we made, is it in a hypertonic solution of iodine, an isotonic solution of iodine, or a hypotonic solution of iodine? And then when we're talking about starch for number 4, is that cell with the starch inside going to be hypertonic to the iodine outside, isotonic, or hypotonic? And so take a moment to look back up and refresh your memory on those words if you've forgotten them. Remember, we're talking about the amount of something that's floating inside. So if we had a cell that had 5% sugar inside and outside of the cell was 20% sugar, that cell is in a hypertonic solution because the solution outside has more sugar. If we reversed it, the solution inside the cell is only 5%, right? So it is hypotonic compared to what's outside. It's lower than what's outside. And then iso means even or equal. All right, after you've watched the 2 minutes of that video, you're going to write your hypothesis. So what do you predict is going to move? And then these are the materials they used in there. So you have that in reference. This is the same video. It's just another link in case you lost it somehow. And then when you get down to the, and you can use this material to help you write your hypothesis. When you get down to the procedure, you're going to find that it's time to finish the video and fill in your answers below. And so they will give you the data of what happened in the lab. This is your data from before the cell was combined with the beaker. This is your data from after. And so if we took a look at the cell to help you out, what color was the cell before we put it in the beaker? It should have been kind of a cloudy white color. The beaker itself had iodine in it, right? So it was kind of an orangey brown. It's probably not going to like how I spelled that. Oh, I was okay with it. All right, orangey brown. And then afterwards, you tell me what color, and then did starch move in? So was starch in the cell to start with? Was starch in the beaker to start with? Was iodine in the cell to start with? Was iodine in the beaker to start with? And then afterwards, did starch move out of the cell? Is there starch present still in the cell? Yes or no? Maybe it all left. Who knows? Is there starch in the beaker? Did it actually leave the cell and get into the beaker? So, and he talks through that in the video too. Then you have some analysis and conclusion questions to answer here. Number 1 is pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory once you know what moved across, so make sure you finish that video before answering that one. For question number 2, you have 3 categories. You have the starch, the iodine, and that should say glucose, not water, my typo. And you're going to tell me which way each of them moved and why you think they moved that direction. And so if I think that the starch, it was already inside the cell, so could it move into the cell? It was already there, right? No, it's not. It can't. Could it move out of the cell? Yeah. Could it move both directions? No. Or maybe it didn't move at all. Who knows? Well, you should know. You finished the video, right? But whatever the one that you think is correct, you're going to highlight that option. So you're saying, if you highlighted that, you said starch moved out of the cell, and you would say, I think it moved outside the cell because blah, blah, blah. It really wants to be free and enjoy its life outside of a cell. Don't put that explanation. That's not going to work out well. And then you'll do the same for iodine and for glucose. And that is how you will complete this lab demo. We're calling it a demo because you're not actually doing the lab yourself, but you are going through the same information that you would if we were able to do this in live class together. All right, please contact me with any questions. I'm happy to help.